everyone, welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with me today, please welcome nail artist and nail educator, Alice McNails. Hello, Alice. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You are quite welcome. So I want to start from the very beginning. So what was your upbringing like and how did you get into the nail industry?
I got into nails not through the normal beauty route. I got through purely on the nail art side. I went to art college and I did fashion at university. And in about 2009, so I started seeing like little drips and drabs of like nail art sort of appearing, mainly on Tumblr because we didn't have Instagram then, and on Twitter. And I just started painting things on my nails with like art brushes and acrylic paint and stuff. And I was totally obsessed with leopard print nails. And I used to do all my nails in leopard print. I did all my friends' nails in leopard print. And it just really just went from there. And for a long time, it was just like this little hobby I had where I would just post pictures on my Tumblr of the nails I'd done. And I ended up doing an evening course while I was working at the local college. And that was probably like, that was in, well, it would have been like a year later, so like 2010. But still, like I still sort of carried on with it as like my side hustle up until 3 years ago, when I decided I'd give up my job and I'd try and pursue it and see if I could make a full-time career out of it.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Like, who are like your favorite nail artists that you looked up to?
My favorite nail artist. Do you know what? Like I love like taking inspiration. Sorry, my phone's pinging. I've got to put it on silent. Favorite nail artist. Like, there's lots of people. Like I do like taking inspiration more from like artists and stuff like that, and other people that sort of inspire me. Like I love like I suppose I really got into this. Do you know War Nails? Have you heard of War Nails?
Yeah.
So War Nails like is what got me into nail art in the very beginning. So like I'd have to say like Sharmadean Reed and like her salon and the whole aesthetic of that was like what really inspired me in the very beginning. Since then, God, like loads of people, like I suppose like Anushka Anastasia obviously is like massive. Nail Swag, that was one of the most original ones that I was really into years ago. Miss Betty Rose in Australia, like I absolutely love her work. I don't know, I feel like there's so many to name.
Yeah, I got inspiration from them also. Like the Illustrated Nail, she had her own Tumblr page of nail art, and her artwork is
Sophie. So I've actually worked with Sophie in the past, like because I had a little point of doing nails when I lived in Berlin for a bit, and I used to do events with her in like 2012 or something. But like her work was mad, like because it was with normal nail polish as well, and literally like what she can do with a nail art pen is insane. Like one of those tiny little nib ones which are really hard to work with.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I've heard of, Anushka Anastasia, Caddy from the West. Like I like their work. Their work's phenomenal. They do their own Nuka nails. So
Nuka nails. Like I just love anything that's bright and colourful, really. Like the brighter and bolder the better. That's the stuff that appeals to me the most. Probably in, like you can probably see that through my own work is I like bold stuff.
Yeah, me too. Same with me. I wanted to ask, and pertaining to your nail studio, so you have your own nail studio in the UK. And so I wanted to really ask, what was the story behind opening up your own nail studio, and what pieces of advice would you give for someone who wants to have their own nail studio?
Well, I was working in a salon before, and I just started building up my clients at home bit by bit. I was just doing them in the evening, and I'd say sort of like just go from there. Like once you've got like your client base, because I was actually doing it in another city to me. I was actually traveling for work. So I live near a city called Brighton, which is called London by the Sea. And it's about half an hour from me, half an hour, 45 minutes. So until I built a client base in my own town, I just gradually started stepping my days down. Like I went, then I did 4 days, and I did 3 days. And then I went down to I was just doing 1 day a week in Brighton. And when I had enough clients, that's the best advice I can give. Is like once you've got that client base, you can just, go freelance. But I suppose other ways to sort of build clients and stuff is like doing like local people in your town's nails that work in like shops and hairdressers and stuff. I used to give like all my cards to like all the local hairdressers, so they would give it out to their clients and stuff. Like things like that really, really help for like building a client base. And like I think like having quite like a strong brand, I think really helps. Like you've got like your nail art's very recognizable, but maybe like your salon space like is similar, and because I feel like my salon space is quite memorable and I like taking pictures of that as well. It's all sort of building this sort of like brand. People love something behind a brand, I think, really.
Yeah, I like with your studio, I think it's pink, right? Like the walls are pink.
It's pink. One wall behind is white, but that's the one that's got the polished wall on it. I don't know if this is.
I like the aesthetic because it's so, it's fun, but it's very relaxing as well. So that's really, really cool. Like your nail studio just has that vibe. And I wanted to definitely ask, like in pertaining to with having your own nail brushes, because you also have your line of nail brushes and also nails. So what has been your experience, selling your own products?
Yeah, no, that's been really good. Well, the thing is, like, I've always been trying to find like the best nail art brushes to use, and I've been through loads, and so I just thought, oh, I should probably just try and like make my own, really, because I just wanted some like proper like I just wanted a brush for everything. And I thought I want to do a collection of 10 brushes where it's like every brush that I use in my art, and I don't use anything else. And also like I love pink, and I love like this cute aesthetic, and there's not really like loads of that sort of stuff around really. Sometimes tools can be quite boring, so I thought I'm gonna do something that's like really me. It's gonna come in like a holographic case, and like it's gonna be sparkly and pink, but be really good brushes to use. So that was basically it. And I thought a lot of people who follow me are always asking me, oh, what brushes do you use and what's this? I just thought, well, this is the obvious thing to go into, because this is what people are asking me for, like, what product recommendations. So it's kind of like an easy step to make, but I've really loved doing it, and I've loved making the content for it, and like building like, a little Shopify page and talking to people about it. Yeah, no, it's been really, really good. Like I'm hoping I'm going to like keep growing it and like adding more products.
That's awesome. So in terms of with press-on nails, like how important is packaging? How important is making packaging look attractive to the customer? Like how important is that?
Very important, I'd say. Like I love packaging. Like I buy things all the time because the packaging is nice. Like for me, it's like a really big thing. And even the same when I package my brushes up, like I want it to like be in like really cool, fun tissue paper. And the same with the press on nails. Like I thought it needs to have like a cool aesthetic, and like so I always do things in sort of like pink and cow print and stuff like that. And then holographic. I always like to have a little holographic element to it. But yeah, for me, like what's great, I think, about buying something from someone independent is the care that's gone into packaging that. And I love buying things from independent brands just because I love to see how they put it all together, and like the little leaflets, and you might get a little sticker, and then they'll be like, I don't know, I just love all that process really. Like it's more exciting to sort of receive like through the mail.
Yeah, the packaging, I could definitely agree. The packaging is what attracts people to the product. And also, like if you have a good quality product, then people will come and the money will come. So as long as you produce a very good body of work, the people will come to you. And so I wanted to really ask about the nail course. I want to shift gears a little bit about the nail courses. So you've done the 30 Nails in 30 Days courses along with Sam Biddle. And I met her in the fall of last year. So it was a pleasure talking with her. So what has been your experience taking or teaching nail courses with Sam Biddle?
Yeah, no, really, really good. Like I really enjoyed being asked to come along on 30 Nails April. I love making videos. I really love making video content and tutorials, and it's something that I find comes sort of really naturally to me. And it was really interesting to work with a lot of different artists that do very, very different work from me. So that was quite fascinating. And of course, Sam's amazing. Great to see like the business she's built and the work she produces. And to be work as like part of a team for that was really, really nice. Like hopefully one day in the future, maybe we'll be able to meet in person, but obviously you know, with COVID, like we couldn't, but like we had lots of Zoom chats and things like that. And yeah, it was just really nice to do that because I've done like my own courses and stuff, but it was really nice to work as part of like a team together and, you know, shoot ideas together around and stuff.
Right, that's really, really cool. Now, what nail courses do you offer or do you plan on offering?
Well, I do one-to-ones, and that's like my main focus because I love doing that because everyone's sort of different. And now I can actually do them in person again, which is amazing. So because like I much prefer doing them in person. I just feel like it's a lot easier to teach when someone's actually there. And I've actually got one this Friday. So it's the first one I've done back in person since last year, I think.
Oh, wow.
But I like those because like everyone's different. I get to like really coach someone one-on-one and answer all their questions. And normally what I ask them to do is come like with a list of things they want to learn, and I basically or bring like their own equipment and I'll show them like what to do. And it's for people that are already nail techs generally, and they just want to like brush up on some skills. But I would like to go into doing some more online courses, and I'm currently doing a diploma in education and learning, which you need in the UK in order to be able to accredit people for certificates. But that's a lot of essay writing, so I'm making my way through that. So
Awesome. That's really great. Now, I want to talk about nail and skincare. So how important, in your perspective, is nail and skincare, especially with any enhancement or just gel polish?
oh, but like, you know, like cuticle oil, I'm always banging on about cuticle oil. I know everyone's always banging on about cuticle oil, but I just got to think it's amazing how much difference it can make. I just think it's incredible. But like, especially if you've got a nail biter or something, like I'm always, whenever I get like new clients, I'm always like, you need to get some cuticle oil. You need to apply it twice a day, put it next to your toothbrush, have it in your handbag. But I think for me, like hand cream, great, but I think cuticle oil is the one that makes the real difference. I can literally like transform people. Like I've seen it literally transform people's hands.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Now, in terms of like enhancements, what's like your all-time favorite enhancement to work with?
That would be Apres Gel X, which is the full tip system. I've used other brands that do similar things, but I think Gel X is my favorite just because of like, it's just transformed my business. Like I used to do acrylic, but I used to hate the filing and the smell and stuff. And you know, like this has no odor and it's so fast. I can get straight to the nail art, you know, and there's just such an amazing selection of tips. And like, I think a lot of the time you can't tell the difference between a sculpted set of nails and a sculpted set of Gel X.
Yeah, most definitely. I have to really ask, like, what would be your advice for someone who hasn't worked with gel before? What advice would you give for someone who wants to work with gel?
Well, it's like any medium. Like, you know, like you need to learn it. You need to learn how it works. It's like whenever you use, like when I went from doing nail art with normal polish to doing nail art with gel polish, like I had to relearn it all again because every art medium is different. And I see even nail coatings like, you know, gel and acrylic as being an art medium. Like you just have to be patient and just learn how that, you know, how it flows and how it works and stuff. Like the thing is with gel is I find even gel products within themselves are so different because hard gel, like you got a bit more time to work with it because it doesn't move as much, but builder gel and even different brands, like some are like really liquidy, so they move really fast. I think with anything, you just got to be patient and you just got to learn it.
Yeah. I
watch as many videos as possible. Just, you know, kill YouTube. Watch as many videos as possible.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely agree with that. Now, in terms of within the UK, how can you describe the nail scene in the UK?
The nail what in the UK?
The nail scene, like what's the nail scene?
The nail scene. Well, it's just absolutely massive at the moment. It's like blown up. Like when I went back to doing nails, so 3 years ago when I started like Alice McNails as a business, like I could see like it was up and coming and nail art was coming back. So I felt like nail art was like really big, like in like 2010 to 2012. And I feel like it sort of fizzled out a bit in the middle, like 2015, 2014. I feel like it did in the UK, I felt like it. And then it just suddenly just came back with a vengeance, like massive. And like nails, I don't know if it's just especially over lockdown, loads of people have been inside doing like creative stuff. Nail art's a very creative thing, but the nail art side has just, it's just become massive in the UK. I've seen so many people start doing nails, and it's great, you know, it's brilliant. And like you know, there's loads of stuff to see on Instagram and stuff, and there's loads of people I even know like have started careers in it and things. And I hope it continues. I hope this buzz like keeps on going.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I could definitely live the UK. Like the UK, like the nail scene is booming.
Yeah, it's really booming. Because I remember like when I was doing nails, like when I was living in Germany for a bit, it was like so hard to get hold of stuff. There just wasn't any products around, and now there's like new amazing products coming out all the time, and like so much more like affordable. Like gel polish used to be so expensive, like you know, especially when all you could get was shellac, and it'd be like £25 a bottle, for like a tiny little bottle as well. And I just think, yeah, I think it's great. There's so much more out there, and I love seeing like all the creativity. And you know, like every day you go on Instagram and there's like, you know, something completely different. And I love it when these new trends start and then they like they blow up. You know, it's really exciting. It's a really exciting industry.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now, speaking of products, what has been your whole take with the progression of products, especially of how you first started into the nail industry? Like, do you feel like with the products, it helped with the nail services become, you know, more efficient? Like, how do you feel about the progression of products?
Oh, yeah, no, I just think it's amazing what we have now. And I think, you know, when I was first doing nails, I think if these products had been around now, like I might have, you know, grown my business before really. But what was really hard is like, you know, you just had acrylic. I was quite slow at doing acrylic. I had to do normal nail polish, which like took much longer, and you got this drying time and stuff. And yeah, and the expense, you know, like, you know, shellac was such a new thing for so long, and a lot of people didn't really understand what it was for ages. But I just think the products are brilliant. Like, you know, the builder gel, you know, being able to give people like, you know, like natural nail manicures that like last 3 to 4 weeks is incredible. And the Gel X, like being able to do a full set of nails in 45 minutes, I just think is amazing. Like it's transformed, Gel X especially, and builder gel like has like transformed like my business, because that's what people want. Like they want like these lasting nails. Like they don't want to come every 2 weeks. They want to come once a month realistically, especially if they're dropping quite a lot of money and having some nail art and stuff. Like you want, you know, they want that to last. So, you know, the products that are around are just great, and I look forward to the future and think what else they're going to come up with.
Oh, that's really, really cool. Now, in terms of like your nail art style, how can you describe your nail art style?
It's sort of like very pop arty, like bright, bold. You know, I love neons, but I also love pastels, and I love like combining that with like graphic prints, and especially like monochromes and checks and lightning and eyes and anything that's really sort of like graphic, really. I like to take my inspiration from like, you know, like different like illustrations and art and stuff like that, as well as like, you know, other nail techs and stuff. But like, I think like it's always quite important to try and like look outside of nails, because otherwise we all end up repeating ourselves.
Right, exactly. And I definitely agree. Like I get inspiration from everywhere, like from nature to different illustrators and things of that nature. You know, I'm an artist in general, so like, you know, I got into art like when I was young, like 13 or 14 years old. So, you know, the thing is that you can draw so much inspiration from different styles of art. You know, I get inspired by Salvador Dali, Kirby Rosanes, and many other artists.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know,
and like, yeah, and especially like, yeah, nature as well. Like so much you can take from nature. That's really exciting about it. And I love it like when my clients come with like some sort of weird idea as well, being like, oh, I've seen this painting, or like, oh, I really like this tattoo artist, or I saw this the other day, and like, can we do a set of nails like this? Like, I love that, because then, you know, it's like a unique idea.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, in terms of fashion and nails, how do you feel about the whole thing with the fashion industry, including nails?
Yeah, I think fashion and nails always go hand in hand. It's definitely sort of how I kind of first got into nails, because my road was sort of through doing fashion and stuff. So I feel like my work is definitely heavily influenced by like, you know, what's fashionable, and that's in, you know, not just in terms of like clothes and stuff, but also like, you know, what's in fashion for like, you know, art or like, you know, homeware and different things like that, really. Yeah, I think they go hand in hand, like really, really well. And, you know, people want to switch up their nails as much as they change their outfits now. So it will make sense.
Yeah, I totally agree because I feel like with the fashion industry, I like how now a lot of nail artists are getting recognition for their work. And especially with the nails, it helps harmonize the fashion collections. There's a brand called C&D who works with the blondes, and they do like these cool avant-garde nails. And many other nail artists, you know, also too have worked with different fashion designers, and it's really cool with the art that you see on nails, because nails can also be a fashion statement and also could be a definition of expression as well.
Oh
So
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Like, you know, lots of people like do express themselves, don't they, wholly through their nails. Like I love it when people like have like a really sort of like simplistic way of dressing, but they like having like mad nails. Like
mhm.
I love that. And I hope that we're gonna see like more of that, like more like fashion designers, maybe like bringing in nail artists to like, you know, push their vision for like their shows or their campaigns and stuff. That'd be really great to see rather than like just, you know, the plain manicures we sometimes see at Fashion Week.
Right, exactly. Now, what is like your favorite mediums to use when creating nail art?
So I mainly just use gel polish. Like I love using like different textures like chromes, powders and pigments and you know decals and things like that. But predominantly what I use is gel paints like ones specifically for nail art generally are normally better because obviously they're a bit like sort of thicker consistency. But yeah, I use all my normal sort of gel polishes and that's what I prefer to work in. Just I suppose I've been doing it so long, like it's probably like I've just never really got into using like since the old days. I've never gone back to using like acrylic paint, which I know a lot of people do, and
Hmm.
special ones for nail art. But I've never got into using that. But maybe I should try it at some point.
Hmm. Yeah, acrylic paint is pretty cool to use. I use acrylic paint. I use gouache. I use gel. So I use a mixture of things with nail art as well. And there's
Yeah,
so many things that you can do to create a body of work like gel, acrylic paint, 3D gel. So there's a lot of products out there that you can make a real cool, work of art. So that's real cool. I'm
yeah.
like the same way. So in terms of with nail trends, so nail trends have been going around during this year. So what has been your favorite nail trend?
My favorite nail trend. The thing is, what I find with trends though is sometimes every client wants them, and I start off liking them, and then by the end, I start hating them because I do them so many times. Like I don't know if it's just my clients, but like so you know, 3 years ago it was flames. Everyone wanted flames, a million flames, and then the year after that it was tortoiseshell.
Right.
Um, and then last year, because we were closed, people went back to Flames and Tortoiseshell because they didn't know what to do. They're like, oh my God, it's been
Right.
closed. What are we going to do? And now it's swirls.
Mhm.
Now swirls are massive and they are like the new sort of, but like to be honest, I'm quite glad because swirls are quite nice and easy and quite fun to do, really. Like you can have quite a lot of fun with them.
Right.
Um, like trends are trends. I don't mind doing them, but like at the beginning I love them, but by the end I always am a bit bored of them.
Right, right. I'm kind of the same way because it's like it's this back and forth. That same like fashion trends. So
Yeah.
it'll be like a trend that was in a certain era of time and it will just come back, But that's what I kind of like about trends, like especially with fashion art, because they come back and it comes back in style. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
can understand where you were coming from in terms of nail trends. So it'd be like it's one way, then it comes back, and then it's just like this back and forth type of thing. And the thing is, like, some of my favorite trends are like, the flames, the
Yeah.
pastel colors. I like the 3D dimensional French tips. So that's really cool. The unique French tips that people do. It's really, really
Oh yeah, I do like that. I quite like this. I do love doing a French tip. I don't know why. I
cool.
just think it's quite perfectionist. I kind of love scooping out like a nice, you know, really neat French tip. And I like all these like ones where you have like a different design on each French tip. Like I love that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, what is like your all-time favorite nail brands to use?
So at the moment I'm working with Magpie and I love Magpie because the glitters are just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And there is literally a glitter in every single color. and whether it's fine, thick, chunky, there's just everything. Like Magpie, I've got just every product you could ever imagine. But yeah, I love their products. I love their colors. I love their glitters. But you know, Apres Gel X has, like I said before, has transformed my business. I can't imagine not using it because it's amazing. And what else do I like? I just like, you know, I just like collecting up like random decals, like a little magpie, like not actual magpie, that's the brand, but like, you know, I love like going and like finding all these weird decals, and I've just got like boxes and boxes of like different sort of 3D pieces and stuff, like like a little treasure trove. Like I've just got like decals everywhere. Like I'm running out of space. I need to like be in a warehouse, really.
Right. So what has been like your whole take in terms of like the progression of the beauty industry as a whole?
I think it's really fascinating. What I find most interesting is how it used to always be thought that like the dumb girls go and do beauty. And I don't know if it's the same in America, but in England, it was just like when you went off to college, which is what you did after school. It used to be like, oh, the dumb girls go do beauty. But I feel like things have really changed now, and the dumb girls are making loads of money now doing beauty. And are much more successful than the people that went off and did their A levels and stuff. Not all of them, but some of them. But yeah, I feel like things have like reversed, and people see like it's amazing. Like you can be your own boss, you can build your own brand, whether you want to go into products or have your own salon, or you want to do like photo shoots and fashion shows. Like I just feel like that dumb girl thing has been like spun on its head now. And you know, who doesn't like want to be like their own boss and like designing their own hours and their own direction? And I just think it's great. I just feel like it is just like ultimate, like, you know, female independence. And before it had this stigma, but I feel like it's really sort of turned around. And like, you know, I think there's lots of advocates out there that have like shown, like, especially like, you know, and I've mentioned Sharmadine before, but she's the first one that comes to mind because, you know, like, from having that salon to then, you know, having her like her booking system, and then like this Stack World, like this you know, female entrepreneurs thing she's built, like yeah, I think it's really changed basically, and all for the better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, especially like how I first got into nail art to now. It has shifted a lot. You know, you see a lot of, you know, these cool different nail products, innovative products that you can use to help propel a nail service, to help better a nail service, to short, you know, the time frame with doing a nail service. You know, also there's so many educators around the world that we learn like brand new techniques, brand new ways of marketing, and you know, opening up a business. So, you know, and the thing is, it's really cool to see like all these different, you know, nail art styles. And with this whole industry, I think that is getting more towards, you know, giving out information, important information about like safety and sanitation, about in terms of, you know, just safety with clients, because I think that's important too. You know what I mean? So I definitely believe that it has progressed a lot with products. And the thing is, but I kind of wish also there's this essence of balance, because I do understand where people have the concern of, you know, in terms a little bit of, with influencers and people who are like these top, you know, YouTubers, or people who aren't, you know, aren't as experienced, you know, or who aren't licensed within the beauty industry, you know, but are real good at makeup and nails and stuff like that. And, you know, they're very good at what they do. You know what I mean? But I think there should be, I think what I'm saying is we have to have a balance between YouTube and getting, you know, nail courses and, you know, education, because education is very important. So that's just my whole take on that.
Education is very important, and it's very different. I know this in America compared to England, because I know it differs state from state, but I know you have to do a certain amount of hours, don't you? And you have to be properly licensed. Whereas here in the UK, there's not so many sort of boundaries. You need a qualification to get insurance, but it's not a legal requirement. You can literally go and practice it, but you won't be able to be insured. But that's not criminal. You can do it. And you can just do a day course, or you can just do an online course. You can do an online course in acrylic, gel polish, and in a day you can have a certificate and you can get insurance. It's so unregulated here, basically.
Yeah.
It's very, very different. And I think it would be better if we went a bit more down like what you guys do. I feel like there should be a certain amount of time people should have to complete with a real person and be properly assessed. Because I think, you know, especially with gel products, you know, there's all this allergy stuff and, you know, like it's, and lots of people using home kits now, but I suppose at least, you know, that they're taking on the responsibility themselves, they're going to put it on themselves. But there needs to be more guidance out there, because, you know, I see some very like questionable work, and I think we could end up with a lot of people with a lot of allergies, basically, because once you become allergic to like say, I think it's HEMA or one of the main allergens in gel polish, like you can't have it again, you know, that's it. And that's taking away a client from another person, whether that's your client or not, or they've done it to themselves at home. Like for life, they can't then be a client or have that service. So yeah, I'm really hoping in the future there'll be a bit more standardization over in the UK.
Yeah. And I think just in general too, because I think safety and sanitation is very, very important, you know, because this is the hugest thing, the hugest basic thing that everyone has to understand. And like with here in the United States, of course, with me, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So I've took cosmetology nail courses when I was in high school. So the hours you had to accumulate was 2,500 hours or 1,500 hours, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with being a nail tech here is like 250, I believe. So yeah, so I think with the whole beauty industry as a whole, I think there has to be some sort of hours accumulated, and especially more in depth about the nail education, you know, because certain parts of the world, and I had an interview with Jan Arnold where she was talking about in Russia, where they spend time in nail school for a year. And, you know, and I think they're so precise down there. They're so precise in Europe because of that amount of education and the amount of skill that they have, you know. So I'm inspired by a lot of their work. Their work is top notch.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. No, definitely.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. So I was like, go ahead. Yeah, no, I don't know so much for sort of other countries, but yeah, I just think, I don't know why there isn't this standardization for it. Like in England, it's like, I think you open a salon, someone from the council comes and checks that things are clean, but they don't really check, because there's a lot of questionable salons out there that are really dirty and aren't cleaning their tools and stuff, and aren't applying things properly. And I just think it could just, especially with it being such a big industry now, like before, maybe it was fine because how much damage could you do with some regular nail polish, I suppose. But now it's massive and everyone gets their nails done. I just feel like the government now, especially in England, they just need to re-look at it. And I think it needs to be standardized. There needs to be like you said about like Russia, there needs to be a certain amount of time that you have to go and do something and everyone's judged the same.
Right, exactly. And that's how people can also improve a lot of the skills, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm glad like nail education is so important, especially a lot of nail artists like yourself that offering nail courses that's saying, okay, like you could do it this way, you know, you could do it in another type of process, because that helps better their service or the way they do things, especially with the nail service. I think that's very, very important. Now, I want to get into in terms of motivational related things. So how important is, like, how would you define success? How would you define that?
Oh God, I think it's so sort of different, isn't it? Like I think the thing is with success is I think it's unique to every person and what they deem successful. Like for me, success is like a lot to do with like my mental health and me being happy. Like for me, that's great success. Like I've had jobs in the past where I've hated getting up and going to work, and I've really struggled, and I've literally been wishing my week away because I hate my job that much. Like for me, real success is I love my job and I love what I do. And my own boss, I think, is a sort of a big part of that, because I've got full control. If anything goes wrong, it's on my head. It's my fault. I've got to answer to anyone. So for me, it's not so much like about a monetary thing, although obviously money's good.
Right.
But for me, it's having that freedom and loving what I'm doing, but also being able to be like, do you know what, I'm going to take that Wednesday off and go and do that or something like that, you know, going on the holiday. Not that I've been on any holidays obviously with COVID, but like, you know, for me, success is having that freedom, but also doing something that like I adore doing, I suppose. That's real success for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, if you enjoy what you do, you don't work a day in your life. So that's really
Exactly. It's so true. Like, it's, you know, classic phrase, but like it is so true.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely agree because, you know, like you got to have the joy in, you know, with what you do, you know, not only making yourself happy, but making other people happy, you know, make people feel good. And like with me doing these interviews, I enjoy doing them because I love, you know, hearing people's stories and, you know, hearing people's, you know, how they describe their nail art styles. And I like learning different styles of art and things of that nature, you know, being an all around artist myself. So I think with success is, you know, as long as you enjoy what you do, you know, you know,
No, definitely. And you're so right. Like, it is so nice as well. Like doing something like people like, you know, leaving and being so happy and being so pleased with their nails and being like, oh my God, I love them.
right.
Like that feeling of making people feel happy also is like super rewarding as well.
Hmm. Yeah, and also too, I think honing your craft is very important as well, and also, you know, just working hard at it too. I think that's
Yeah.
also, you know, and also it's another thing of, you know, in terms of like just don't compare yourself to other people, you know, because people's journey and race is different from your race, you know,
Yeah.
art is
So
different from
right.
your art, you know,
Yeah.
so.
You're right. That's so important. Like, I feel like it's very easy, especially with like Instagram and the internet, to compare yourself to people. Like, and you know, even I'm guilty of like doing that, even though I know I shouldn't do it, and I tell myself all the time to do it. You still see being like, oh, look, they've got more likes on that picture, or look, they're more fully booked than me, or they've got this, they've got that. And it's so easy to do, but like, it's like with everything with social media, isn't it? We've got to remember that's only half the story that we see online and only the
Right.
prettiest part as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you can really fall down a dark hole comparing yourself to other people. The best thing is just to stay in your lane and just keep going forward.
Right, exactly. Now, in terms of mental health, how important is mental health, especially in the beauty industry?
You know, I think it's massive. Like, I sit with my clients for 3 hours. Most of my clients have 3 hour appointments, and
Hmm.
that's a long time to sit with someone. So like, I feel like the clients that I've had, even for a year, a lot of them I've had for 3 years. I know them inside out, and they come here and they tell me like all their sort of like, you know, like what's going on in their lives and stuff. And
Hmm.
you know, it's very intimate, isn't it, doing that? Because you're sitting there opposite someone, holding their hand for 3 hours. Like, it just makes you open up, and like, you know, they all know my life, I know their life,
Hmm.
uh, and I feel like it's really good, like sort of like for both of us. I definitely feel like it helps my mental health. Like, I need to be talking to people all day. Like, I did struggle a bit through lockdown because I'm very used to, like, I'm a bit of a people person and I like talking. And so going back to work has been so good and really made me realize how much I'd missed it.
Hmm.
Uh, Being able to just connect with people. And I feel like all of like the beauty industry, I think it's like that, whether you do like makeup or hair or something, I feel like because you're so close to someone and you see them regularly, you just end up having really in-depth chats. And I just think it is a bit like therapy, isn't
Right. Right.
it?
I definitely agree with that. You know, it gives you a connection to people. And, you know, I do believe also that mental health is very, very important because I think it's something that is now, I think, very much talked about a lot more and considered a lot more. And it's also understanding like it's okay to get help. It's okay to seek a therapist, you know, somebody that can really help you through tough times. You know what I mean? And especially, you know, with connecting with people and you're doing their nails, you know, that helps you feel good, you know, and, you know, just to listen and connect with people. And it's really, really cool.
100%. And like, what I always like to be a bit of an advocate as well for is like, because I came out of a job that I hated so much. I
Hmm.
was so depressed and I was like rock bottom. And like I said, like, you know, before, like, I was wishing the week away. I was dragging myself out of bed.
Hmm.
And I was just stuck in a rut, and I really thought I couldn't get out of that rut. So I like to really sort of tell people that, like, you know, just throw caution to the wind, get rid of that job. You know, life's too short. Like, do your passion, find your passion.
Hmm.
and do it. Like, because like, that's the best thing you can do for your mental health is like have a job that you enjoy doing and you love doing. Like we said before, you never work a day in your life, but like
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of in terms of motivation, I want to stay on this topic a little bit. What is your take and what piece of advice would you give for someone for overcoming failure?
Overcoming failure. Trying to think. So the thing is with me is I sort of, because it's my job. If I do something wrong, there's no one else I can blame it on. It's just me. So I just hold holding yourself accountable really. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time, like I'm a massive procrastinator. My main downfall is procrastinating. I will put a job off that I don't want to do for ages. And then sometimes I'll be late doing something, or I'll miss a deadline, or I'll post something out late. It happens. And sort of what I just try, for that failure is my fault. There's no one else's fault. So I don't do any blame game. I just hold myself accountable and I think, do you know what? I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to get really unhappy about it. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I did that wrong and I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to get to that project quicker. I'm going to get that thing down the post office before. I'm going to finish that form I had to fill out. I'm going to learn from it and I'm not going to do it again. I think that's the biggest thing is I think you need to just close the door on it, not beat yourself up about it and just learn from it.
Right. Because I feel like it's easier for us, especially with us being artists and, anything that, we do, we can beat ourselves up like, oh man, I made this mistake and I should never have done this. But it's like, the thing you can do is like how you said, you can't beat yourself up about it. Like, like just learn to move forward and to say, hey, I can do that. So that's the whole thing with that. So how would you define your impact in the beauty industry?
Oh God, I don't know. My impact. I like to try and like build other nail techs up as much as and it doesn't even need to be another nail techs, other creatives. This is why I'm always happy to chat to people in my DMs, and a lot of time when people come and say to me, because I like to, like I said before, I like to share my story of how I had this job, I was in a rut, I did it for years, I never thought I'd be able to get out of it. And I like to really be like, and every now and again, I like to post that on my stories and remind people and just say, if you need to chat about something, come into my DMs, we'll talk about it. And I've spoken to quite a lot of girls who have gone on to become nail artists or other beauty things and given up their shit jobs that they hate. And it's great. And I love seeing that. I love doing that nurturing side. Like for me, like that's the most, like one of the most rewarding things is that some of these girls have like said like, oh God, like how did you get the courage to leave your job? Like what did you do for it? Like, how did you start? And I'm happy to share like my whole journey, because being that low and now being so happy I am now, like I feel like it is possible for everyone. And so that's what I would like to think is like my impact, is helping other people get out of that sad rut.
And one last question. So how would you balance work and daily life?
Work and daily life. I'm trying to think. I have a lot more time off than I used to have. I don't like to overwork myself. And when I'm overworked and I'm stressed, I don't do a good job. The way I've just learnt my working style, and my working style is I can work really, really hard for a short period and I'll do some great work in that time, but I can't do like a long period. So what I do now is I cut down my salon days. So I only do 3 days a week. Like, because all the nail art I do are very long appointments, I still do like 3 long days. But I find having the time off in between, and I'm not just having pure time off. In this time, I'm normally doing like I'm updating my social media. I might be doing a one-to-one lesson. I might be like making like a reel or some sort of content or something. I've always got something else on, but I think it's just managing your time, see what works for you best. And being kind to yourself, like we've all got to have time off, like having boundaries. Like my biggest thing, because I used to work in retail, was I'm going to have weekends off. I know that's totally against working in beauty, but I thought I've worked so many weekends in my life, I'm not going to work weekends. And that's like, set your own boundaries. I think that's so important, really. Like, And like that helps me have a good balance life. You got to like work out your pattern and you'll have your own boundaries.
Right, exactly. And lastly, where can people find you on social media?
So I'm mainly on Instagram at Alice McNails. And I have just started doing TikTok. I'm very new to it, but I've got the same name on TikTok.
Okay, awesome. And also, where can people find your products and things of that nature?
It's alicemcnails.com. So yeah, Alice, everything is Alice McNails. So you'll be able to find me on like all the social platforms and on the internet under Alice McNails.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining on to the show. It's such a pleasure to have you. I love your work. Your work is very vibrant, very colorful. I'm inspired by your work. Your artistry is top notch. It's really, really a joy to see. And like I said, it's such a pleasure to interview you. And thank you so much.
Thank you. No, it's been great. It's been lovely to sort of chat about stuff. I've had a really good time. Thank you.
All right. Well, then take care. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great day.
See you. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms as well as visiting my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more videos to come soon. Take care, stay safe, and stay healthy.